share about today.
Okay, Professor Popovsky, thank you very much as always for bringing your insight, and thank you very much for taking the time. We now move on to West Asia for our next story, and the Israeli military has confirmed that the International Committee of the Red Cross has received the remains of another hostage in the Gaza Strip. The remains were moved into Israel yesterday and taken to a National Forensic Institute for forensic identification. If confirmed as the additional hostage, it would leave 5 more deceased hostages still left in the enclave, who are yet to be returned under the ceasefire agreement that began on October the 10th. Before this latest transfer, Hamas had already returned the bodies of 22 hostages. Moreover, in recent days, Israel has also received the remains of several others, including Israeli Americans and a Tanzanian student who was abducted last year. Now, as part of the same ceasefire arrangement, Israel has also released the bodies of 285 Palestinians. Authorities in Gaza say only 84 of those have been identified, with limited forensic resources making the process more difficult. Joining us to discuss this is Professor Rohan Gunaratne. He's an international affairs expert and he joins us live from Singapore. Thank you very much, Professor Gunaratne, for joining us. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. Of course, we've seen another hostage remains or possible hostage remains returned to Israel via the Red Cross. What does this tell us about the current state of the ceasefire?
Thomas, the key question that affected Israel was Hamas and its allied groups holding Israeli and other foreign hostages taken from Israel on October 7, 2023. So everyone has now been released alive. That is, total of 20 living hostages were released. And of the deceased hostages, Hamas is only holding on to 5 more bodies. So after that, it is very likely that the second phase will start, that is the disarmament phase of Hamas and 9 other groups that are located in the Gaza Strip. And that is the most challenging part. But I can confirm to you, as of yesterday, when one of the deceased hostages was released, only 5 remain, and that includes 1 foreign national, that is a Thai national, and the others are Israelis. The one that Israel confirmed that was released most recently was from Tanzania. So Israel now is focusing with the Americans and other countries how to disarm Hamas, that is the demilitarization phase of the Gaza Strip.
Yes, indeed. Professor Gunaratne, do stay with us. However, we will, of course, bring you all the updates in regards to that remains identification when that information comes through. We have a related development coming through once again, though. And Turkey has issued arrest warrants for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and dozens of other Israeli officials. The Istanbul Chief Public Prosecutor's Office says that a total of 37 individuals have been named in the warrants, which, besides the Israeli PM, also include other notable figures such as Israel's Defense Minister Israel Katz, National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir, and Military Chief Eyal Zamir. The charges include allegations of genocide and crimes against humanity linked to military operations in Gaza and the interception of an aid flotilla last month. Meanwhile, Israel was quick to condemn and reject these warrants. Israeli Foreign Minister Gideon Sa'ar, in a recent social media post, has described the move as Turkish President Erdogan's quote-unquote latest PR stunt. Now, on the other hand, Hamas has welcomed the announcement, calling it a sign of support from Turkey's leadership. The recent warrants issued by Turkey follow the International Criminal Court's previous action last year, when it issued its own arrest warrants against the Israeli Prime Minister on war crimes allegations. Israel has reportedly rejected the decision as well. Professor Gunaratne, of course, Turkey's position is quite complicated on this, as it wants to be part of that temporary governing body in Gaza. It wants to send troops in order to keep the Gaza Strip in check. How likely is this, given the fact that it keeps speaking out against the Israeli state, and now, of course, has issued 37 arrest warrants against some of Israel's top officials, including, of course, Benjamin Netanyahu?
Thomas, as you said, it's a very complicated relationship because President Trump enjoys a close relationship with Erdogan. But Netanyahu and Erdogan are constantly fighting with each other. If not for Erdogan, it is very possible that Hamas would not have started to release the living and the deceased hostages. Hamas was put under pressure by Erdogan. He has very significant influence, other than Egypt and Qatar, on Hamas and Hamas's allied groups. What is important to understand is that Turkey, under Erdogan, has been taking Israel to task for the civilian deaths. And that is why this warrant has been released. And of course, as you mentioned, the Foreign Minister of Israel has condemned it by calling it a political and a PR stunt. What is important is for there to be peace and harmony in the Middle East so that there will be peace in Gaza, because if Turkey and Israel continues to confront each other, then Turkey will not be permitted by Israel to participate in the international stabilization force in Gaza. So Americans are working very hard to keep Turkey and Israel as friends and not as enemies, although this most recent act by Turkey of issuing a warrant of arrest against Netanyahu and his colleagues is something that Israel is very angry about.
Yes, Professor Gunaratne, very interesting update, and thank you very much for joining us here on the programme. It's always a pleasure to have you. We now move